The next one is the dark reactions. Now, the dark reactions are actually use the products from the light reactions. So, the dark reactions, otherwise known as the Kelvin cycle, which is probably what you'll hear it more as, it uses the ATP and NADPH as energy sources, because when this is oxidized, it produces a lot of energy. When the phosphate groups are broken off of this, it provides a lot of electricity, a lot of energy as well. So the dark reactions start off with a molecule called ribulose. Oops. I hate this, but it keeps going. 1,5-bisphosphate. Which is a 5-carbon molecule, which then absorbs carbon dioxide, and it runs the cycle about 6 times to give you 1 molecule of glucose. This is the basics of photosynthesis, and it's basically this process here gives you your photosynthetic equation. Okay, so the common equation, which is often seen, is that you start off with carbon dioxide and water, and using light as your energy form, which I'm writing above the arrow because I usually mentioned what kind of energy you use, or if there's if it's being catalyzed or anything like that. And it gives you your glucose and gives you your oxygen, which I'm just going to quickly balance this. There's a 6 here and a 6 here, which makes sense that each time you have, each cycle absorbs in 1 carbon dioxide molecule. Okay? And I mentioned that the cycle has to run 6 times in order to give you 1 glucose molecule. Okay, so this is your photosynthetic equation. Okay? And the Kelvin cycle is actually quite simple, if you can remember it. You basically start with this molecule, you go around, do your process, you release a glucose molecule every 6 times you do it, and since it's a cycle, you always end up with this at the end in order to run the cycle again. And the ATP and the NADPH, the way that they play a role is every single time they get passed on from photosystem 2 to photosystem 1, the NADPH gets oxidized by the oxygen that's given into the system, and the carbon dioxide, and the ATP gets dephosphorylated. So it loses its phosphate group, which an inorganic phosphate on its own is highly energetic because it has an extra electron that's just waiting to bind to something else. And we talked about radicals at one point, and radicals are very harmful. So it gets recycled, and you end up with your dark reactions, which lead you to a glucose molecule, which is essentially the carbohydrate that the plant wants to store. Now you can make different things as well, like cellulose, which is used to make the cell wall of your plant cell, which is also a 6-carbon molecule, a sister molecule to the glucose. But glucose and cellulose are basically what you want. The glucose is a good substrate, and the cellulose is good for building your cell wall and structure. So that's it for photosynthesis, guys. So I'll see you guys next week, and we'll start something new. Subscribe to me so you guys can see some cool videos doing science and experiments and maybe learning something new. Thanks!